Hello. FlutterFlow is a great tool to build mobile and web applications, but one of the biggest limitations actually is how to use different backends and ability to connect external services, like, for example, MySQL database and your options when you use native FlutterFlow integration features is quite limited because it supports only as you know, Firebase and Supabase at the moment, and it's not so comfortable when you need to integrate FlutterFlow with any services that you or your customer at the moment to use. So that's why we created API flow. It allows us easily connect external services. I will show you proof of concept of very simple app that will allow us to create some data, query data from MySQL database and map it to FlutterFlow UI. So first of all, very simple concept how it works, what we will use to implement this sample, this application. So we will use feature in FlutterFlow called API call. There's a feature that allow you to query any external REST API and receive data back into your service. So you can send some data and receive this data back and use it in your receive data from connected service into your application and use this data into UI. So we will connect using API calls to API flow, and API flow creates a bridge to service API or database protocol. In our case, we will use MySQL, but we could have multiple different integrations for different services. So Lighter creates this bridge. It's quite transparent and very efficient, so it's not creates very long additional ties, and etc. It works in real time. And API flow sends these requests directly to services that you need, translate them into MySQL queries and etc. and returns data back. After data is returned, you can map it to data model inside FlutterFlow. Data models is a very powerful, cool feature to manage data inside of FlutterFlow app. So we will use it to map data inside of FlutterFlow to your application. And after this, you need to render data model to some elements or consume data from elements. We will see this in a moment. So first of all, what we will create is a very simple sample app that allows, for example, to create some account. No, so it's display. It's going to be, for example, job and some password test. Create account, and it logs us in. And as you can see, very simple screen. And same, I can use login feature, and it will log me. So this is proof of concept application, and we will try to build same from scratch. We have here data types, we have here application state, we have here API calls, and few screens to work with, few screens. Very simple application. So I created a copy of it and will show you how it works. This session. Okay. So where we will start with pre-built screens. I already created the screens, but I will create all other data management features from scratch. So what we have in our database? We have database here, and we have very simple accounts table. It defined as email, name, password, and we have very simple database with few fields. Email is used as primary key. So we will create a data type. Data types is a specific data management feature of FlutterFlow. It's a very powerful feature. So we will use new database data type called account to store our data from MySQL to represent our data from MySQL. So it will be same as our MySQL table. It will contain email, will contain name, and we don't actually we need password to send password to database and we create account. So we create data model to be able to connect data with MySQL and to manage this data inside of FlutterFlow. Next, we will go to API flow. I already created an account. You will need to create an account if you don't have one, and I will create a new project called MySQL data sample. And I will create a new flow. I want to connect MySQL. So after I created a new flow is actually one integration logic, like some custom units that will contain our settings. In this case, this will be flow to create account. So I will use create account name and I will save it. And next, what I need to do, I need to create an API call in FlutterFlow. So I copy this endpoint address, go to API calls in my FlutterFlow project, and add new API call. So I will use this name, create account name, and this is my endpoint. And I will use post type to be able to send data to that API endpoint. And I need to secure my endpoint with authorization header. So I passed this header here in header section. I can create this API call now. And what I will also use, I will create a new JSON body. I need to create some variable. I will use variable email because this will be data that we will send to our API call. It will be name and it will be password. Same fields we just created for data type, and it's very, very important. Now we go to our body. We created a new body and we used JSON data type. I will format it a little bit and I will type email and will drag email field here. Next, I will type name and will drag name field here. Now I can type password and drag password field here. So yeah, name format. I will save these changes to be sure that nothing will be missing. And now I will send some data. And password blank test. Okay, so now I can send my data. And as you can see, we successfully sent our data and we received feedback that this is some response. It's not real response for now. It's just that API flow received our data, our request, and now we can go and set next step. So now we choose insert record operation, and we need to create connection. I already set my SQL connection. You will need to create a new one, provide your server address or API, port, database name, login, and password to connect to your database. So next I select MySQL database that I already connected, and I need to choose a table. We will use table account. And API flow automatically scanned my table and show me that I have 3 fields in the table. So I will insert email field, name field, and for password we do not want to save password as it is. We want to use MD5 hash, for example, to save it. So I will use specific syntax that API flow provides to us to use with MySQL searches, and we can use this is like sign of a dollar, and then I type my function I want to use. It will be MD5 and quotes, and inside of this I want to insert my password. So it will call this function and will create an MD5 hash for the password. It will be more secure way to save our passwords, and as they will be hashed. And as you can see, we can preview generated SQL query. For now, we don't need to change anything. We have correct query, and we can publish now. We published this flow, and now we can actually call it with same sample data but receive a real response. We test the API call, and as you can see, we received result. This result was inserted in database. So you can see I have my record here. I have my record here. So now we need to check this option, parse as data type, and select the count. This response now will be parsed as data type account. It's very important option to use. So what we will do next, we go to application variables, app state, and we'll add a new app state variable. We will call it user. And we will set type to data type, and data type will be account. And we need to enable persisted saving. So our user variable will be saved even when app turn off. It will be saved in local application state. So what is purpose of this variable? We will use it to save logged in user and to check if user is already logged in. So let's check how it will. Let's check how it will. Will set. Okay, we don't need. Okay, what we do next? We go to our screens. Actually, you can find a link to this sample, to this template in a description of the video. So you can use it, you can check it and see how it works. And what we will do next, we will use this create account page and we will connect it to the data. So we want, when we click on create account, to send an API call and create our account in MySQL database. So we go to actions and action flow editor, we click open and we will add a new action, add action. And this action will be a backend database section API call. And for API call, we will use create account with API call. We will edit an API. Okay, we have everything set here. We don't need to edit it. Okay, yeah, we need to add variables. So email will use value. You need to check this mapping field. Sorry. Okay, it will use widget state, text field to email address. Next, additional variable name. Press this settings icon, widget state, text field 1, display. Another variable, password, widget state, text field 3, password. So that's how we will send request from our application. And what we want, how we want to represent it, it will be API user. Let's call it API user. And when it's successful, we need to save this user into our API state. So we will into our app state. So we will go to state management, update app state, and we need to use data account, set value, and value. We will use this account from, sorry, we will use it from action output API user. And as data type, API response option as data type. So we save and close this. Let me check it real quick how it works. So we have now this button and it will save our user to app state. Next, what we need to do is add another action and we will navigate to home page because we already logged in, so we will navigate to home page. And that's all we now created interaction with our actually API, and we will be able to send data from this screen to our API. Let's go to home page, and what we will do, we want to output here not just hello text, but we want to greet our new user. So we will combine text, and first text will be hello, and we will add text, and text 2 will be app state user data structure field name. Confirm. So now we will see here hello name. What we want to add here. So for logout button, we will send a little bit later. And let's go to the settings and we'll change try page to create account. So we will first try create account feature. Let's run test. Sorry, we have some errors. Okay, cool. Okay, we have some stale action. We have some stale action here. So what is this action? Actually, we will set it later. It's just when I copied it. It's on page load. Some remains of our template project that we used before. Actually, when we tested our API flow application, we already can see here in log details we received all data here and we can see it. So now we will continue in test mode of FlutterFlow and we'll send data to MySQL. We'll create a new user. It takes some time to load our application. So we're gonna test our application now and we'll use and okay, we'll create a new user and we'll see how it works. It works quite great. So now we have this data in our application. We'll look at our user. Let's add an action to logout button. In this case, we will add a new action for click, and we'll remove our state. We'll set our user to unset clear value, and this will remove our user, our current user, and we'll add another action, navigate to sign in page. Let's try it. It requires some time to rebuild application. So previously we inserted some data into our database. As you can see, it's engineer company com. We have it in our database, and now we will see. We want to try our. I will create. Maybe I will change. So we will load into our home page now. Home page, and we'll see home page screen. Seems it don't work without reward. So let's start test. Okay, we need to end this session first. We'll end this session first. And we'll select home page as starting page, and we'll start a new session. It will reload our application. So at the moment we connected our API call to backend and created account, able to create account, and we received our data back. And until our app is loading, what we will do, we need to, while our app loading, we will create a new flow that will allow us to actually get account by login account by email and password. So we will, while we wait here, we'll go and create a new API call. Let's save the changes. I will create a new API call. We will use post API call and we will call it sign in account. And we'll post API URL here. And next, what we need to do is to post authorization. To post authorization header, so it will this application will be this API call will be secure. And next, what we will do, we need to declare two variables. One will be called email, and another one will be called password. We have these two variables, and we will save them, and we will use JSON body, and we will send our variables mail and password. So we have these two fields. Let's save changes and send test request. Actually, I don't remember quite password, but we'll try. That's right. So it's as you can see now, our app is loaded. We will check again if our logout button works. Yeah, it works. It rejected us here, and we need to add actions to this screen so it will start. So we go to API flow, we receive data here into our new flow, and now we will select a record. We will use select one record by ID, but we will not use ID, we will use email and password. So what we need to do, we need to modify query and search where email is same as email. Do not forget to use quotes, and you go to next. And password is same as MD5 of password that we received. It's our query. So let's publish it and let's see how it works. So we have our API call here. Let's send test. No, it not found. I suppose I used something like test too. Yeah, I quite don't remember my password. So I suppose I will create a new account for this. I'll just drop table. It's problem when you don't remember account. So let's just drop the table and create it from scratch. So I drop table and create it again. And now I will create a new account. To do so, we will add to our application button create account feature that will allow us to go to create account page. So that for create account button, we need to add action and navigate to create account. So and now we can reload our application. Reload our application. So you can see we are not logged in, so it shows. We'll go to create account and we'll create a new account. I will set very simple password. Okay, our login works, and now we have ability to try our test query. It's not don't return it somehow. Maybe I did something wrong. Let me check very fast. Okay, we send the password and body. Let me check very fast with our tutorial project. No, it seems quite correct. Let me check it in a moment. We will rename it to sign in. Accounts, mail, and we use MD5. Everything seems nice. One moment. Yeah, okay, my mistake. As you can see, I wrote an query wrong, so I don't need quotes here because it's query, and this is our MySQL class already. So sorry for this mistake. This is my mistake. I but sometimes it happens and you need to be able to fix it. So we change the query, and now we will go here and make API call. Yeah, and we received my account that I saved before into database. Phew, hooray, great. And what we will do next, we have two API calls. One of them create account, and another one allow us to receive that account. Let's go and map our sign-in account result to account data type. And what we will do next, we will go to our sign-in page, and for sign-in button, we will add action that will execute API call sign-in account, and we will use email. We will map widget state email address and password widget state password, and we'll name it API user. So you can remember, we use that name. So when it's successful, what we will do, we will set state and we'll use data count set value from action output API user as data type. And after this, we will redirect, navigate to home page. So we will be able to show accounts that we logged in. Great, great, looks nice. Looks great. So let's go to test mode and we will reload it. We will reload. As you can see, our application preserve our user between sessions. So when I logged, it preserves data. When we log out, we clear data. And now, if I reload, I don't see any name here. So I need to log in. And now I will use my login and my very simple password. Never use such password. And as you can see, I am logged in. And even when I will reload application, it will show my user because it's saved in preserved app state. So what we did already, we created a data type account used to represent our user account. We created app state value user where we save our user, and we created two API calls to create account and sign in account. This is very simple this is very simple app, and definitely do not for use in production. Just don't do it. But for example, if we want to add some action to homepage to validate if we have some user logged in, we can add this on-page load action and add conditional action. And here we can add condition if app state user structure field email okay, has field email, and it's true we don't do anything, but if it's false we go to login script. So this will redirect our user. If we don't have user logged in, we will be automatically redirected to login screen. So I log out here, and if I will try to, as you can see, it instantly navigates us to login screen because email is not set. And now I'm trying to log in, and I'm login, and it welcomes me. So we build very simple uh, application to send data to MySQL and to query data from MySQL and to map it to data types and preserve this state between our sessions when we use our application. So you can find a link to this sample in description of the video, and please let me know if you will have any questions, if you will face any issues, if you will try to implement something similar. It's definitely much better to use some more robust solution when you implement users management. But this is more sample to show you how you can insert and query data from MySQL. And how you can use ApiFlow actually to use external services with FlutterFlow. Let us know if you will have any questions. We value feedback very much, as system at the moment is in active development. We will be very grateful to any feedback, to any requests that you will have. Thank you for your time, and see you in some time with other videos. Please check our other tutorials. Have a nice day.